But I think what it should provide is, and the goal, I think ultimate goal is to provide a new perspective, fresh ideas, new outlook. So if there is a foreign policy specifically that you were bringing up, that let's say I've worked in a foreign policy think tank in the past, and I have worked in a foreign policy think tank in the US, I can bring that perspective, I can bring the way the US foreign policy establishment is thinking about, let's say, the US-India nuclear deal, to the structures within the Indian government, right? And so I think that's the goal. I'm not necessarily sure that the fellowship would provide the continuity that you're talking about.
I think you've raised very important issues about the strategy and objectives of this fellowship program. And to rephrase what I think you're saying is that the fellowship should attempt to churn out outputs or deliverables which are of professional quality, and therefore they are acceptable to all who read, irrespective of changes in regime and changes in the bureaucrat who's handling that post at a particular point in time. So definitely that should be the kind of output that the fellows in the fellowship deliver. And the wider aspect of continuity is it's always a question mark in government and a democracy. It's open.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aditya from the Asia Group. Question. In the earlier panel, there's a remark made of whether it's about impact, it's a very big McKinsey thing these days, versus sort of the idea of experience. I wonder if you would think of perhaps doing a 2-year program where instead of being deep dive into a single job, you send a person around different parts of the government so that they at least get 3-6 months experience at various levels, and they may not go back to the government, but they come back to the more experience.
26 years of that, that's not what you want.
I think I don't need to
Hopefully, do you want to answer that?
Not exactly to that. I think I see a bit of a dichotomy in terms of you want to have it flexible and diffused in terms of what the areas you want to work in, the levels you want to work in, the kind of work you. But at the same time, you gave the example of the White House Fellows and the President Man. There, it's very well defined, and the space within which you're working is also pretty well defined. And I think you need some sort of an arrangement, a formal institutional arrangement with the government, for which you'll have to identify a partner department or a partner ministry. Now, once you do that, then do you restrict yourself to Government of India? Because the general discussion we're having here is that you should cover all the spaces. So how diffuse do you want to get, or do you want to make it as the last person suggested? It's 3 months here, 6 months there. A lot of questions, in terms of, because if you don't get the government buy-in, then you'll have just these individual initiatives. For instance, Varad he's not here, but he's an example of a person, a rare example of a person who's become an officer on special duty to a minister, because it just so happens that the minister is very dynamic in his approach, and a confluence of circumstances has brought him to that post. But if 50 of us in this room would want to do that, we may not be that fortunate. So what I'm suggesting is there will have to be some sort of arrangement how with the government, and I don't know whether that's on your agenda or not.
It is. Let me just have speaker just comment on that, and then come back to you.
I just have a few suggestions taking the discussion forward. Firstly, let's just try to understand the context in which you want to place the fellowship. I mean, don't over-expect. In the first instance, it is basically, the point made is there are certain professional skills which are not available in government or which are not used in government, and you want to come with that professional bandwidth and help out. So I think the first point is in your slogan, in your name itself, you have to distinguish between professionals and students. You have two programs if necessary, like the internship program for students who want to study in a particular area, maybe for a year, for 6 months. That's a different program, and a program for professionals who want to spend 2 years in a field of their expertise. See, what is it for the government in it? It's not one way, right? So government has to see a value in your proposition that you're giving professional bandwidth. So the professionals have to be experts in particular fields. You've got to identify that, and then where they place themselves in government. So the first point is understand the context. The second, the point, the suggestion would be, is that identify specific ministries. You can't generalize across Government of India, across state. You made a list of ministries, which is fine. Planning Commission already has an internship program, if you go to their website. So identify ministries which, even Mr. Karan Singh said, rightly, which are in PPP mode. Some of them have involved private players in many of the things. So be specific in your identification. Third point is, the point which is raised is buy-in from the ministry. You cannot have a fellowship program for government if the government doesn't want it, right? So I think you're, if I'm not wrong, you have to liaise with the DOPT in this regard, Department of Personnel and Training, and you'll have to even identify specific let the needs for professionalism come from government. Instead, come from those ministries. For example, Ministry of Environment wants expertise in 3-4 areas, so that can be your call out for applications. Or Ministry of Planning Commission requires expertise in certain. If you keep it broad based, then the professionals who are coming in won't be able to fit into the system. Where do you fit them in? And lastly, I think institutionalize the understanding. The point that was made. Otherwise, you'll have people just, you'll
floating in and out, basically.
You get frustrated because you come with this expectation. A professional comes with that expectation of making a difference, rightly so, but then finds that he has no place in that ministry or nobody is caring for his or her advice. So the ministry should be part of this understanding. Where are you going to place them? What are their tasks? The deliverables, very important things. I mean, it's not that they come in and then you have a look at it. It should be upfront that they're coming in with this. This is the expectation. The ministry should be welcome, open to this idea. You have to identify that they're going to come in at this time. So that kind of understanding. And finally, my suggestion would be look at Government of India. Definitely, there are areas for policy, but in state governments, there are many mission mode projects which are going on, like Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, as I mentioned. There are a lot of like NREGA, NREGA. These are Rural Health Mission. These are projects which require professional bandwidth. I mean, which are all. In fact, many of these programs at the district, at the state, government of India level have been churned out through private participation. There's a lot of churning. But in implementation, you require professional bandwidth. For example, one area is data. I mean, when you're planning, you don't have any data. How do you manage statistics, data? How do you help the district plan in its NRHM mission? So their professionals with with their expertise can help tremendously. And I tell you, I've worked as a collector in a district. We don't have support systems. We have most of the time firefighting, and we have a team of professionals who are working in some of the areas. I just give half the job to them, So there are people who are willing to work out. So you just have to find those places, get the buy-in and do it. Otherwise, if you're not.
So I'm hearing selective. I'm hearing match skills with need. And in the sense, define what the needs are, match skills with need.
And buy-in from the other side. That's most.
Third is buy-in, and the fourth is institutional capacity, just in terms of the memory of it and also the sustenance of it. Anirudh, do you want to comment on that?
I totally agree. I could not agree more with you, Srikanth, on all of the points that you made. And we have started conversations with people from different ministries on exactly that, talking to DOP to figure out exactly under what sort of rules and regulations these fellows would work within the government. And I totally agree. So I'm currently working with Mr. Sachin Pilot's office, and I totally agree with you that unless the ministry and the office buys into the idea of having a professional working in the office, you won't get anywhere. I mean, I could not disagree with any point you made. But the point I will make is that JIPS as an organization, as we push this fellowship forward, is trying to do exactly those things.
Yeah. Just one thing about the institutional capacity. Could you comment a bit specifically on that? Just around funding of it and potentially, what sort of